What is up, everybody? It's Tournament Arc Madness! Checking in on the first round matchups to see who's winning, who's losing, and who's moving on to the second round. I'm joined today with my friend, Professor Shinobi. Say hello to the people, Professor.
Hello to the people, Professor.
Alright, let's get straight to the business. So, looking at the first round matchup, it turns out that you just can't defeat a classic because Dragonball has defeated God of High School. Score of with 7 votes to 1. That's incredible.
Yeah, that kind of doesn't surprise me when you have the ability to wish to win too.
I mean, that'd be ridiculous. Who would win? Goku would never do that. He actually would never do that. He would try.
Goku would probably wish for his opponent to do better so that it would be a much more fun fight.
Yes, absolutely. It was actually funny on the Twitter poll. Since almost nobody can see it, almost no one was following it, but I still got a random votes. It was God of High School winning, and then someone else voted, and it tied, so no one got the Twitter point for that one.
Right.
Looking at round 2, it was kind of close. We had Fairy Tail going up against Food Wars, but in the end, Food Wars wins 6-2.
Yeah, presentation matters.
Presentation really does matter, but they each won a point from the different social medias, so it's like we got some fans on both sides here. And match 3, one that breaks my heart, but I knew this was coming all along. Beyblade going up against My Hero Academia. My Hero wins 8-1.
Yeah, I kind of expected that because that tournament had an upset. And it was a surprising time when that happens. Beyblade, the most that they got is parting the Red Sea canonically.
I mean, if you see some of the images I've pulled for that tournament specifically, it blows your mind. Like, the third Beyblade World Championship had some of the hypest moments. This is my only time to talk about it since it's out of the tournament. So the setup is that our lead character's team, since they decided to change the rules of how the World Championship would work that year, they set it up so basically all the main 4 members all decided to go their separate ways, so each one of them could actually try and take the reign of champion from their team leader. And it came down to the top 2 bladers from their team facing off in an epic no-holds-barred battle in this giant like quarry-like arena, and it just ends with them both facing off exhausted like they've been brawling. And when their base finally dropped, the loser Kai dropped. Like, he dropped to the ground, and it was just like, and he's done it! Tyson has won 3 championships in a row! Let's hear it for Team Blade Breakers! It truly amazing, but I knew this one was not going to win. I just knew it. It was my just hope to bring this in and see how many Beyblade fans I could get my eyes on this one.
Yeah, that's tough when you have My Hero right behind it, especially since every match in My Hero is pretty concise and has a very interesting story behind it. Not only that, but it also has the major upset at the very end where you think like, oh yeah, we absolutely know who's going to win the whole darn tournament. It's the main character, and then it isn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. So moving on to the next match, we have probably the most one-sided match. Naruto going up against Kuroko's Basket. 7-0. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, that's got Lee dropping the weights. Like, that alone is probably one of the more hype moments. That was just something where it's like, we thought we knew. It's like, okay, Naruto's gonna go fight Gaara. And then Lee just out of nowhere is like, yeah, I know how to kick Sasuke in the face multiple times, and I am faster than Gaara.
Yep.
It's like, what?
It's like, yeah, this
is the major offset of this whole thing.
Yeah, that is the moment that is stuck in anime fans' minds for what, over 2 decades? 2 decades at this point?
I think Garnt put it best. when Lee drops the weights, you're in for life.
Yep. Once you see Lee drop those weights, you feel that spiritually. You just connect to that.
Oh, it resonates with you forever.
It's like, sorry for the fans of Kuroko's. I have actually not even seen the movies that we're using for the reference. But I've seen some of Kuroko's. I know that they've got hype moments, but you can't do anything against Naruto. In the next match, we had Yu Hakusho going up against Black Clover. So before I reveal the winner for this one, I must tell you the craziest thing. Once again, looking at the Twitter polls, the Twitter poll got 9 votes, and 8 of them went to Black Clover.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow, this is truly the sign of aging, that people on Twitter, most of them probably have watched Black Clover than more people have seen Black Clover than they have Yu Hakusho at this point.
I mean, that's interesting because, like, for me, Dark Tournament sparks exactly one memory about that, and that is Toguro brings the ring.
Yes, Toguro walking in with the ring on his back was truly fantastic. But we don't have to talk about Yu Hakusho because it's going on to the next round. That's right, it still won the overall vote. It won the overall vote. It got 8-1. Black Clover still won that Twitter poll by a landslide, and it was crazy. And it was actually a competition because there was 9 total votes, and only one of them went to Yu Hakusho.
That is absolutely surprising. I would have actually thought more people would have shown up for one of the better tournaments on this entire bracket.
Yeah, honestly. I will say, Black Clover's Royal Knights arc, it had some hype moments. It also had... So, we were just talking about Naruto and the Lee dropping the weights moment. There was also the moment in the tuning exams when all the senseis drop in to stop... It was to stop Neji from hurting Hinata even further. And
yes.
And Black Clover had a very similar moment, and it was really good. That gave me goosebumps. And in the next round, probably the biggest upset of this tournament, we had Hunter x Hunter going up against RWBY, and RWBY won 6-2.
That kind of doesn't surprise me, mostly due to the fact that RWBY has a very, very dedicated fan base, and definitely when it comes to popularity votes, they have a lot of opinions, and a lot of them are RWBY is better.
Yeah, honestly, like, I will not deny it. And also, I voted for RWBY in this competition, but also, it's interesting because I wonder how this tournament would have shaken out, because Hunter x Hunter got put into a lower seed because we were saying this one we're going to use the 2011 air dates instead of the early 2000s air dates, which would have put it in the 3rd seed.
No, that's fair enough.
It just makes you think. But yeah, RWBY 6-2. RWBY earned both of its social media votes, so that's just like only a couple people voted for Hunter x Hunter, and it just couldn't handle the Volume 3. So we're gonna move. I will say, Heaven's Arena is a great arc. Simply put, you gotta love the introduction of Nen and the rematch between Gon and Hisoka. Mwah, chef's kiss. Okay, and now for the big one. The one that really is why Professor Shinobi is here. We had Yu-Gi-Oh! Going up against Megalobox. And this is the closest competition of any of the competitions in this bracket. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! 4, Megalobox 5.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! By 1 point?
It's like they each won one of the social media votes. So, yeah, it's just...
Oh, man. Now, you see, for me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely something that I will base a lot of the tournaments on, and when we were supposed to submit these, I was told you can only submit 1 tournament and 1 franchise. And from a franchise of tournaments, like, okay, if I have to go between all of them, I'm gonna pick Battle City for a couple of reasons. The first one was that Yugi does a really good job of having to face the villain of the week. Joey has to go through and redeem himself, showing that he's not a loser anymore. He can beat the same people that Yugi beat last time. Seto has the brilliant plan of, I can steal God cards legally, and I'm going to trap these people, and I'm going to help Yuki, parentheses, no, I'm not, I actually want to steal everything of his. Merrick is one of the best villains in this entire arc. You get really good backstories for a lot of really good characters that just appear in this season. I feel like a lot of the weak points is the fact that this tournament gets interrupted, and we don't see all of the fights, but if we did, we probably would still not get a new season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Up until about maybe next year.
Yeah, honestly, the Battle City was the hypest thing. It introduced the dual disc, the greatest toy a kid could want for Christmas.
And probably why I got second place in one of my costume contests, just because I had one of those.
But yeah, no, I agree that I honestly wanted Battle City to make it just for the nostalgia. But Megalobox, since it's moving on, we won't talk too much about it, but it honestly...
everyone likes a Cinderella story. I think that's why a lot of Megalobox characters showed up to say that they like this a little bit more than play card games save the world, even though it's like, but you also have to duel on a blimp, bro!
Yeah, the Kaiba blimp! Oh my god, the Kaiba blimp!
I mean, the summoning of the Egyptian gods, the fact that Joey also has to face villains towards the end where it's like, I'm gonna go defeat Merrick. JK, that's not Merrick. I'm gonna go fight actual Merrick. And he's literally one move away from being able to beat him. And then it's like, oh, now Joey's life is on the line. So now it's not just, I have to save the world, but I have to save my friend's literal life.
Yeah, so many people got hurt. Like 3 people were put into comas during this card game for children.
Bakura sends 3 people to hell because, fun fact, if you don't know the difference, well, yes, if you don't know the difference in the dub and the sub, they don't say Shadow Realm. They just die. Or they go to hell. Like, literally hell. So it's like, Bakura sends 3 people to hell just to go to the finals. And it's like, you know what? I don't like his approach, but you gotta appreciate his commitment to doing that.
And then, our final matchup. Another one-sided victory. Not as big as Naruto's, but we had Pokemon going up against Haikyuu. And Pokemon took that hands down 6-0. And if you're wondering why the numbers aren't even, it's because not everyone voted. In every category.
That one, I feel like a lot of people might have hesitated to vote if they're not entirely sure about which one it was. And I'll be honest, I'm trying to remember exactly which one the Cinno League was for you, Pokemon on that one.
So yeah, the Cinno League will, just to clarify for the people listening, it's the 4th Pokemon League. It's the one where Ash battles in Sinnoh with... This is the first time he uses, like, a mixture of all of his teams that he's had so far. And then he's had his biggest fights against Paul, his rival in Sinnoh. And then there's the bullcrap that all Pokemon fans hate, Tobias and his Darkrai.
Right, it's just like, oh, BT Dub's legendary. What? I know we have the right to challenge him for something, but can it just be like someone who's really smart at using their Pokemon and not like, you know, min-maxing the literal life gain?
Yep, so we'll talk more about Pokemon if it loses the next round. But for the most part, the matchups are already the matchups are looking interesting for the next round. So it's going to be Dragonball going up against Food Wars, My Hero going up against Naruto, Yu Hakusho going up against RWBY, and then Megalobox going up against Pokemon. These are some tight competitions.
Yeah, these are some pretty stiff competitions. Even the one that I feel like there's more of a clear winner, it might be tougher. The one I'm really interested in seeing between all 4 of these is going to be the Dark Tournament versus RWBY's Vital Festival. Because we're going to have something where it is super heavily popular with the OG fans and super popular with the new fan.
Yep. So yeah, if you want your team, you want your tournament to win, you gotta vote. The voting will be available both on my Twitter, the Advent7 Facebook page, and if you're in our Discord, you can vote there. It's like, so out of these 8, who do you think is gonna take the top spot and win it all? get some predictions in.
If I'm gonna put a hard prediction in, I'm gonna say that if Yu Hakusho can win the next bout, I want them to win the finals at this point. The Dark Tournament does a really good job of having variability in your tournament and not just this person knows how to use a fire move, this one knows how to use an ice move, and it's like they use teams in a very interesting way, and each time they fought a new one, there was a new caveat, like who of your teammates are caught, and well, technically that's not cheating, or hey, all of your opponents have equipment, and what does their equipment do? Well, technically that's not illegal either, and we're not at discretion to tell you. And also, you know, maybe we'd have younger Toguro go, hi, I'm gonna help out, and the older Toguro goes, shut up.
Yep.
No.
The Dark Tournament is probably one of my favorite tournaments of all time. Like, it changed my life when I was a child.
Oh yeah.
I gotta be a Pokemon
Was it because of the torment that he has to go through for training, or was that something else?
I don't know. I think that it was just a solid arc overall, and it was just like, this is the epitome of a tournament arc in my mind. Like, I have to be a Pokemon simp and just keep shilling for Pokemon to do well. I don't think it'll make it to the finals, because if Dark Tournament wins next round, and Pokemon wins next round, they go up against each other.
Yeah, that's rough. But it's gonna be interesting because being pushed against RWBY's Vital Festival is something that a lot of newer fans are gonna be like, well, the animation in this is clearly better. And I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I like RWBY, I really do, but it's just when you're comparing apples to apples of story, the Vital Festival's a lot shorter, and I don't think there's enough meat there to really compete for what we got out of the Dark Tournament, including really cute announcers.
Yes, really cute announcers, Will.
Yes.
But looking on the other side of the bracket, we've got biggest comparisons we've had in anime: the Naruto versus the My Hero.
Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, hype moments and upsets is definitely how I would describe both of them.
Yep.
Just because, yeah, Naruto doesn't win the Chunin exam. Spoilers for an anime that's out for like over 10 years.
Yep. It's like both of these. It's like the only thing I could say going for My Hero is that their tournament arc actually ended with a proper winner.
Yeah, it ends with a proper winner. There definitely were upsets. Matches were interesting and concise, and I think that's something that My Hero has a little bit over on Naruto, is that Naruto's a little bit more long-winded, and I think part of that also is just they introduce at least 9 new characters, and they want to tell their backstory.
Yep. But yeah, that about wraps it up for our Tournament Arc Madness wrap-up. Any last thoughts, Professor?
I really still am a little bit salty about Battle City losing. I totally understand, and I guess that just means I need to go watch Megalobox, because apparently Cinderella's story is way better than card games, and apparently some people don't have the patience to watch 100-episode tournaments.
Yeah. Alright, from Avin7, I'm Trey. Was joined by Professor Shinobi. Get out and vote, guys. Round 2, begin!